Melissa.
I'm Julie.
This is Olivia.
This is Stitching at the Cabin.
Kinda.
Yeah, Alyssa's not staying.
I mean, I am.
She's not staying for the whole episode.
Because she's not filming the episode right now. Is this all confusing? This might be a little confusing.
But yay, look, you guys came back.
Yeah, it's the 4th of July. Came over. I'm not going to say for childcare because I came over to spend family time for the holidays. But there also happens to be childcare, so...
We know the truth. It's because Jacob's working and she had to be alone.
Yeah, Jacob finally went back to work and he had to go for 3 days in a row. So my first time being a parent to 2 little ones by myself is him gone for 3 days.
And how's it going?
You know, better than I expected, I guess. But it's a lot. This one's a little fussier than Addie was when she was this age. But isn't she cute?
And what age is she?
Oh.
It wasn't supposed to be a tough question.
6.5 weeks. Almost 7?
May 26th.
6?
And this is July 4th. You guys can math that.
Yeah, see, with Addie, I was like on it. I could tell you week and day. I know how old she is. This one, it's just like...
She exists.
She exists. It's not been 2 months yet because I haven't taken her 2-month photos.
She's less than a year.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because we've been to the park. I said this in the group chat. I've been to the park a few times and kids do not understand when you say she's less than 1. I'm like, oh, she's like, I think I tell kids she's 2 months old or whatever. And the kids are like, oh. And then they like run around and then they come back and they're like, so is she 1? No, she's just months. So she's like 0? Yeah, she's 0 and months. But like, she's not 1 yet? Nope, not 1 yet. Confuses kids.
Addie's too young to be confused by that. Are we falling asleep? Because we look real comfy.
Yep. She's a comfy bug. It's cold in here, but I'm warm. You see those floppy arms?
I went on a bike ride this morning. I could go to sleep.
I wish I could take more naps, but unfortunately, they don't usually nap at the same time. It's fine. I'm fine. I drank so much coffee last night that I actually had to wake up last night because I felt so sick from the coffee.
That's not good.
That's why Dad got me decaf instant coffee at the store.
Oh, I wondered why you requested decaf.
Yeah, because Jacob makes this really good coffee drink, but we only have caffeinated instant coffee because the coffee drink requires instant coffee as opposed to an espresso. I drink espresso in the morning and then I drink this instant coffee drink in the afternoon. It's so good. But have you looked at how much caffeine is in instant coffee? It is psychotic amounts. Like, I only do like a quarter of a serving or like a scoop or whatever, and it's like the same amount of coffee and like a cup and a half of normal coffee or something.
So it's not decaf, it's...
Well, the decaf
Semi-calf.
one hopefully is decaf. I don't know, I haven't looked at that one, but currently I only have caffeinated, and so it messes me up.
Addie is here, but she's napping. I wouldn't want you guys to think that we purposely excluded her. She is, yeah, see, she is asleep with her butt in the air.
Bug.
Oh, no, maybe she's awake.
Well, she's doing her in-between time thing, you know. She might go to sleep longer, she might not. We'll see.
When we watch her, she sleeps a full 3 hours. We wear her
Yeah,
out.
you do. You go on walks. She really wants to go on a walk, but it's too hot.
I'll take her. But the thing was, I said walk right before the nap without realizing that she's a small human and understands that. And then she was like, walk, 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 walk. And I was like, oh.
Well, I'll tell you, she's also a tiny bit manipulative. And I know they say toddlers aren't manipulative, but they figure things out and then they use that to their advantage, which if that's not manipulation, I mean, I don't know what it is. So we had to go to a funeral a few days ago, a week ago. However long ago.
Weekend,
and it was a really long drive. It was like 3 hours each way, which isn't like horrible normally if it was just Jacob and I, but with kids, sucks. Yeah. So, Addie got upset near the end each time we were driving, and so we gave her a coveted car binky because she has been weaned from her car binky. She doesn't have car binkies anymore, but she really needed to nap, and we're like, okay, take a binky. This is a special binky. She's like, okay, because she had been crying because she was tired. Now, every time we get in the car, every time, she sits back there quietly for maybe 2 minutes, and then she goes, crying, Binky, crying. And I'm like, nope, don't think you're crying. And then she'll be quiet. Crying, Binky. So I'm just ignoring her until she forgets she got a Binky that one time she cried.
Well, Nana and Papa still have a Binky in the car seat, so...
You should get rid of that Binky in the car
I don't
seat.
think so. I do not think so. That's the first thing she does when we go to put her down for a nap. Before I can even, like, get her to lay down for a diaper change or whatever, she's like, Binky, and she's over at the thing looking in, trying to get spare Binkies.
Yeah, she's Binky addicted, but we're working on it. We're toning it back.
Good morning. Let's try this again. I think the real introduction was with Alyssa on July 4th. This is July 13th. It's Saturday. So, yeah, she's long gone. She is not here today. So I thought I would show all my goodies. Should be fairly quick, I think, even though there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not terribly talkative today, I don't think. We'll find out. This is the beginning of my talky day. It is 9 in the morning, 9:10, big fat hen. So, yeah, let's do stuff. I don't have any finishes. Well, I don't often have finishes. I mean, y'all did not submit any finishes again. So I don't know if you guys aren't finishing things, well, if I've scared you away, but send your finishes, StitchingAtTheCabin@gmail.com. I will show them all. We do have a WIP share. I mean, I have, I think, 6 more after this, so send your WIPs, same thing, StitchingAtTheCabin@gmail.com. I was hesitant to show it because I was like, well, Alyssa's not here to ooh and ah, and I feel like it's less exciting for everybody that way, but also, you know, I don't think I did it last time for that reason, and so let's do it. Let's just do it, because it's beautiful. Ugh. And this is one where I think probably in most cases what we actually stitch looks better than the picture, but this to me was a huge difference. I was like, yes, yours is so much better than the picture. Maybe you don't all agree, but I even asked her, did you change flosses? Because this is a lot better, and she doesn't think she did. She said she could have, but she doesn't think so. So the WIP share this week is Christine, and she is doing every season. She's probably done by now, because this was only 7 days of work to get to the point she's at, and this was from May. Mid-May, I think, is when she sent it. It's by Tiny Modernist. Did I say it's every season? Every season by Tiny Modernist. She switched to a 16 count Ada, and she's doing it with 1 strand of floss, which she says she doesn't usually do, but she really likes the way it's making the X's look. Also, please encourage her to make a floss tube, because I guess she and her daughter both stitch, and they have considered it, but they haven't done it. So let's encourage that, because she sends me a lot of her stuff, and I love almost all of it. Well, I can't think of anything I don't love, but I don't think, what are the chances that I love absolutely everything that one person is stitching? There's got to be something where I'm like, that's okay, right? I can't think of what it is, but let's just assume there's one where I'm like, meh. But this is not that, because I love this. I loved it enough to go look at it and poke at it and see if maybe I wanted to do it, but I have so much stuff, and I'm like, no, don't do it. And then, well, stuff's happened lately, and I ended up doing some shopping, and you'll see in the haul, and I should have just gotten it, because why not? But I haven't. I've behaved. I've done good. Like I said, no finishes, but StitchingAtTheCabin@gmail.com. It's down below. That's why I keep doing that, because it's in the description below. If you haven't read the description, I think Alyssa did an excellent job with it, and it amuses me every week when I put it in there. Just saying. Okay, my WIPs. I have WIPs. It's been, I think, an extra week since I've filmed, because so much has happened. I'm not going to bore you with it in the later stuff. Don't worry, I'll tell you key points here and there, but I'm not going to give you the whole thing. And just know it has been absolute insanity, to the point I've had to work on keto on weekends to stay like caught up. You're gonna see this big purple bag back here. It's it's empty mostly now. That's heaven and earth, and that was a haul. I just wanted you to see how big the bag was, but when I move this, you're gonna see it, kind of. But I'll show it to you later in the haul section. Yeah, I was making sure my address wasn't on it. It's not on that side, which is why I said it that way, but then I second-guessed myself. So here's keto. We did finish, you all helped. We finished the page. We did a good job. Page done. I did count, I can't remember, I think we've done, I can't remember, 27, 28, 32, we've done a lot of pages. We've done a good job. Almost halfway there. Isn't that crazy? Almost half. So, I have started up here. It's hard to see because I've got so much going on, but, you know, the other stitches willy-nilly all over. I try not to do a whole lot of that, but also you kind of have to because there's, you know, I'm not going to call this confetti heavy because it's not, and anytime I may have said it was, I was a lighter pants on fire. I did not know how bad confetti was until, I would say, last week or the week before when I discovered what true confetti is, and this is not it. This is very pleasant, very pleasant. So I think I'm going to not take pictures during this. I'll take pictures after. Maybe I'll find a way to leave everything out a little bit and take pictures, because I'm finding that when I do that, it makes editing really difficult because there's awkward silence, so I can't show you the picture during the awkward silence because that's just weird. So at some point you probably saw before and after, and I was hopefully not pointing at something long enough to put that in, because that's another thing I seem to do often. But there you go. 25 count, 2 over the 1, Annie Stagg, full cross, heaven and earth, I don't know what all. I literally show this every single video. It's the very first piece that you see. So you can always ask me questions, but also it's probably, you all probably know almost better than I do what it is. And once again, I did not bring the picture up because this lives in my office and it's kind of, I don't keep the picture near this. This is on one side of the room, pictures on the other. So it is Harvest Afghan. I bought the fabric and the pattern, I think. No, I think I just bought the fabric off Stony Creek, but they do have both. I had to move it so that I could get down here. So hopefully I have put in a picture so you can see what it is supposed to look like when it's done. I love it so much. It is 4 over 2, which I actually think is kind of fun. I mean, these stitches really look pretty. Someone's gonna find like the one stitch that's like super messed up, but for the most part, these stitches, they lay really well. It's a pleasure, and it's kind of blocky, so I really 1000% recommend this one if you're on the fence and you're like, maybe I want to do this one. I love it so much. I wish that Alyssa had not gone on maternity leave so that I could have worked on it much more, but I am impressed that I have done anything at all. I'm impressed by myself. Wow. This is why you watch, right? But really, I love this. I love it. This is the roof of a house, and this was my downstairs project. It's I didn't bring the picture up. I'm sorry. It is Owl Forest embroidery, and it's Emerald City. And it was supposed to be done by now because it was my downstairs project, and like Plague Doctor, that's how I finished that one, because I moved it downstairs and then I was able to work on it in some evenings. I would say our life schedule has changed, and now I don't stitch downstairs. There's no reason for me to. I can do it upstairs now. So this only gets work done when I'm basically waiting for my husband. While I'm sitting downstairs with my shoes on, all ready to go, and he's doing whatever he's doing, I work on this. So very little's been done, but I keep saying I worked on a little bit, but not enough to show you. So I thought, well, I finally worked on enough that probably some of this at least is different. That's probably about the extent. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll shock all of us with a before and after picture. It's like way different. I did make a mistake. I don't think it looks bad. She still needs hair and stuff, so don't worry. But I don't think it looks bad, but it is not the way it's supposed to be. And probably she would have looked better if I had done her correctly, but that's what you get. And now I'm trying to make sure that I am fudging correctly. That's why I started working up from the umbrella to make sure I can just fudge these to meet, and then everything should be good. And then I can keep counting. Oh, actually, I think this is the edge, so I won't be counting that way. I'll be counting up this way. There is much more done, but, you know, without taking it off, you cannot see. But trust me, take my word for it. There's a lot more done than what you can see. I also do enjoy this very much, and it was a kit that I got from Alpha, so I'm using their variegated flosses, which I really like. This super variegated, and at first I was like, I don't know about this, but yeah, I like it. What else have we got? I worked on this at the cabin. The wheel spun it. I don't even know when I went to, I wasn't at the cabin last weekend, so it must have been the weekend before. Do you even care? I don't think you care. I'm not sure why you would care. I don't think you're keeping track of my stitching days. I have not missed a day of stitching in at least 4 years. Not one. Even when I had surgery, I stitched before. And then when I was recovering and all groggy and weird for the next couple of days, I only stitched on things that were like small and somewhat easy. But I do have one I completely mangled, but it still looks okay. Anyway, apples. That's what I'm working on. Now, apparently there's 2 more. If anybody knows which episode, which magazine, which... I'm telling you, this perimenopause thing is messing with me. I cannot remember things at all. I have like this brain fog thing happening. And I just want to thank Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, for pointing out in the last video that when I was saying, I'm sad, but I don't know why, I'm not depressed, I don't know what I'm feeling, I'm just feeling feelings, and all, that it was probably perimenopause. And I think she is 3,000% right. And I'm trying to get an appointment with a gynecologist. I'll tell you about that in the other. It's not working. I am a mess. What do you call one of these? That particular magazine. It will pop into my head in like 5 minutes and I will scream the word and you all will jump and not know why I'm screaming that word. But if you know which one this is in, I mean, I know which one this is. This is March 2013 of Cross Stitch and Needlework. If you know which one has the other 2, and I think it's a pear and some berries, I would be forever grateful if you could tell me which issue it is. Oh, I am such a mess. Issue. I have an issue remembering issue. I would really like to do them because this apple one is looking amazing. And how long did you sit there and stare at that, screaming the word issue at me? I am so sorry, people. So sorry. If any of you want to talk about perimenopause, please email me. I would like to talk to any woman that has experienced menopause, perimenopause, has any advice, can make me feel less like I am alone and insane and yeah. Okay, I should probably show you the thing that I was holding up instead of screaming about female issues there. I wish women all just were so open about these things. I would probably feel less like an absolute crazy human. Okay, look at that. Doesn't that look good? I love this. Again, not like the usual thing you see me stitching, but I saw a picture of it on like Facebook and I fell in love. I definitely worked on more apple. I think a little bit up here. I was definitely doing stuff, you know, on the border. Yeah. Love. It looks so good on the black. And I mean, I assume I'll do the grapes because if the grapes look anything like the apples, it's going to be amazing. I think I already have fabric for that. I did not realize that there were 2 more until I was working on this, and then I saw something in the corner of that page that said something about, it didn't say like 4-part series, but it said something like, I don't know. Doesn't matter what it said. It said something which made me realize it. So I started looking up the artist. I looked up the magazine. Like, I looked for it, and I have since found at least pictures. They do exist, and I really, really love the Bailey one. But I can't find where to buy it, and I don't know which issue it's in. So that makes it much more difficult to try to locate. What is this? Oh, this is for my mom. Whenever I take her to chemo, I work on this one. I was like, what is all this stuff? I work on Just Nan High Hopes. It says, High Hopes Grow Here. I think that's fairly accurate in this situation. I don't seem to get a whole lot accomplished while we're there, even though the hydration takes a couple of hours and the Keytruda is a half an hour. You would still think I get a lot done, but I don't. I yak. I watch people. Yak like talk, not yak like bleh. Although there was some drama. Remind me when we get to that part, there was some drama this week. So I did work on this, a little bit outside of chemo, because I think her last session is going to be in October, and I would like to, have it done. So I did a little outside of the hospital. It's at a hospital. It's more like it's just an infusion center in like the medical offices. It's not the actual hospital portion. But anyway, that's, I think, the edge or real close to it, and so is this, the top edge. So you're looking at, you can eyeball in the rest. Maybe I don't need to finish it. Just tell everyone, just eyeball in the rest of it. It's fine. Hang it just like this. So I was working down here this last chemo session, but you won't see a difference because I worked on it at the cabin. I remember that. I don't know why. I only worked on this a little bit last night. Oh, you know what? I didn't. I worked on this a couple weeks ago. Now, I moved the Q-snap last night, so you're not going to be able to see all the amazing work I've done. It's Little Pond, the dimensions. I just pulled the whole bag thing out. That's okay. It's this, for baby Olivia. Super cute. Maybe I'll stick in a picture of her here, just so you can see how cute she is. I will do that now. There you go. Is that long enough? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so I pretty much only have this corner left and like some of that leg. And there might be a few things. I have to put the name in and all that. There might be a few little things, but for the most part, I've done all the rest with all the backstitch and French knots and all that goodness. I know you can't see all of it, but it's everything here and there is done. So it's just this section. Well, that's done, but I think there's a couple little things. The page kind of breaks right around there, so it's a little difficult with the whole, trying to read off the pattern and not making a bunch of mistakes. I don't believe it does that grayed out area with the 3 lines usually. I don't think it does that, so you're just sort of holding the pattern and guessing and going off of other stuff. So we'll see if my draft looks funny or not. I do like it. I do. And especially now that Olivia's been born, I feel more like this is a good fit for her. She was kind of a potato for a while. That's a loving term, potato. Where she doesn't really do much, and she can't like track you with her eyes, and so she's just sort of laying there, and she's super adorable, and I love cuddling, but like, it's hard to tell personality, so I was like, I don't know if she'll fit this or not, but now that she's becoming more of a human, I think this is a good fit for her. This is, strange text. This is, Ophi de Nichois. I can't remember the name of it. Ophi de Nichois, I'm gonna go with, but something seems off about that. I would need to see it again to make sure that it's the day that's bothering me. I got the Ophi and the Niçoise, but is it a day? Ophi day Niçoise? I don't know. It's something about birdhouses. It's Jardin Privé. I did also just move this Q-snap, but I took a picture when it was completely out of the Q-snap. Let me just show you that. Here. This is it completely out of the Q-snap the other day. Probably not the best picture, but I just took it because it was out and I wanted to see. So then I put it back in, scooted it over, and I was working over here, and then I just kind of found myself going all the way across. So this is the end right here. So hopefully we can get everything to meet and get it all to fit in. This is like the edge of the fabric. It's underneath this. There's nothing in the back. So, whew, that was spooky. The fabric is Seraphim Peeps. I would love to buy more. I don't know where or how. I can't even remember where this came from. So, are you shocked I don't remember that? I think there are 2 birdhouses here. So January, February. This is probably March, and then April. And would you believe it goes, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December after that? I can hold up some. No, I can't. You can see the back of it. There's the back. Whee! I'm a goober. So, yeah. I need to have this done by October for the Octa Sal when I go to Stitch West in Utah in October. I need to have this completed so that I can be like everybody else that's doing it. We can all stand up there and show it and yay! They did announce what they're going to be doing next year. It does not appeal to me enough to do it, so I will sit that one out, which I'm a bit relieved about because having these deadlines makes it more difficult because I have the deadline with this, I have it with this, and then I have it with that High Hopes as well for my mom. Although, she's not like, I don't think she would care that much, but for me, I want to do it. It feels right to finish it when she finishes, like I did the last time. So, yeah. I talk a lot, huh? I'm not talkative. Blah, 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 blah. Just keep in mind, this is going to be the long part because I had so many projects, and I'm hoping that what is in here is what I think is in here, because otherwise you're going to miss stuff. I am getting textuses. Okay. Nothing. That needs my immediate attention. I have a call later today with the doctor. I will explain that as well. I don't know what this is, but I have to warn you, I had 4 new starts, 3 of which are massive, and 1 is just, to me, small to medium size for me. So for some of you, it's huge. What is this? Let us find out. It is a Heaven and Earth. Oh, let me show you that bag just so you can see, because I'm about to start showing you Heaven and Earth. Look how big this bag is. All my wonderful goodness came in that. Okay, now I can finally get rid of that bag. It's been sitting here for weeks now. And I know I probably wasn't supposed to start these without showing you and like unboxing together. No, I don't have the patience. Oh, okay, this is Addie's window. Look at all the floss. I know it looks messy. It's not messy. It just looks it because it's all mushed together. I have found these for anyone that cares. I have found these little tote bags on Amazon. It's like $9.99. Lately, only the brown one is, but for a little while the black one was too. And they zip, so it all just stays in here. It's a very simple bag, but I feel it's cheaper than a big old honkin' project bag, because you need something big for this. So I have 4 of them now. I have 1 there, 1 here, 1 there, and then my Tiki Beach Sunset is over there. Oh, I'm looking everywhere. Where's the project? It's sitting on my leg. So I don't have a picture of this, obviously. I won't have a picture of any of the Heaven and Earth. Well, they don't come like that because they're PDFs. But I will put in a picture. This is what it's going to look like. I love that the name is Addie's window, since Addison is my first granddaughter. So I don't think Addie's going to look like this because she's got red hair, but it's super, super cute, and she's cute. And okay. I started in the top right corner because I wanted to see leaves. I didn't want to start just pure background and be like, wah. This is 28 count 1/1 full class. I know it's not super exciting to look at. I think I only worked on it 2 days maybe. So yeah, it's not crazy exciting, but I am really excited to see it come to life, and I absolutely love those material packs. I know I've said that before. I'm not going to nag you. I'm not going to harass you. I'm not going to sales pitch you. Just saying, if you can ever afford it, totally worth it. Love, 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 love. I mean, you know I have an entire DMC spinner over here, and yet I'm still not kidding at my own project because I love these floss colors so much. Being able to just grab one little thing off and go, it's so nice. Because Keto's on bobbins in the box. I didn't plan to show you, but the work Alyssa and I've been doing on our own floss cards, it's up on the table, and we've made quite a bit of progress. Still a ways to go, but getting closer to being able to start that mermaid one. Heaven and Earth no longer does like supersize max color kits, so we're doing that ourselves. Mostly Alyssa. She's done the bulk of it, which I super crazy appreciate. You noticed I've left none of these out to take pictures. I mean, it's all just a pile over there, opening and closing. But it's a Saturday, so I feel less stressed, less like, I have to work, I have to do stuff before work. I have not stitched a single stitch yet today, though, and it's already after 9. This looks to me like French, French coat of arms. Again, another material pack. This one is on 32 count 1/1, because the model is on 40 count. Heaven and Earth. It's 40 count gauze, and I was like, no. So I opted for 32 count. This, I did not get the fabric from them. This was, I just simply did the floss colored portion, because you have options in the material pack. Because I had this fabric, I got it at Trading Creations. Now this is when I realized what true confetti is. And at first I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I don't like this. I don't want to keep working on it. And then I watched Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, I believe, and she was showing how to work diagonally using Pattern Keeper. And I have seen people work diagonally, and I knew that there was a setting on Pattern Keeper to put the diagonals in. I'd never actually tried it. Life-changing. Now, I worked on this one more than the others because I enjoyed it so much. So now I'm doing all sorts of things diagonally. Yeah, not much to see, huh? But you can see I started out going across, and I had gone down some, and then now I'm figuring out that a diagonal is the way to go. I just don't know how to make it so you can, like, I mean, it's just hard to see. It's hard to see. I don't mind the 32 at all. I mean, the tiny little stitches, I really don't mind. I really like the diagonal. Now, I don't know how I'm going to feel when it's, you know, a massive diagonal. At least get it going the right way, Julie. You know, when it's down, I like it when it's small and all kind of on one page in Pattern Keeper, but when it gets bigger, I don't know. I'm going to need her to make another video on how to do it when you're not starting. How do you do it when it's partially done? We'll see. I'm surprised I put this in here because I really thought with that being smaller, I was going to put that in a normal bag. This one may end up, this is that brown bag. This may end up in a smaller bag so that I can put, no, because apparently everything's in something. I don't know. I have a brain. I may not remember how to use it, but I got one. Alright. The buttons and beads. Mill Hill cabin. I don't remember working on this. I mean, I did. Clearly. I sort of vaguely remember doing it in the game room with my husband. We were watching a movie or something. That seems right. I don't think you're going to see much difference. So obviously there's some green over here because that's what's still attached. I don't really have a recollection of working on this one, but I know I did because I used Teresa Little Stitcher's spreadsheet thing and it says I did. So I did. Hopefully the before and after shows you what I did, because I don't know otherwise. But I like these. I took it camping, but I never actually worked on it while camping. I was working on Prickly Owl instead, which you will see in un momento. That was the Prickly Owls what I worked on last year when we had gone camping, and then my mom ended up having cancer and we came home, and so I don't work on it very often because it doesn't have the best juju. But I thought, nope, we're going camping, I'm going to work on it. So I did. Not a lot. I didn't get a lot of stitching time. It was so hot. So hot. You kind of just sat there and, But anyway. Color being crafty finished hers because, you know, she's awesome. I have not finished mine. But I am still awesome. Everybody's awesome. I think it's supposed to be everything is awesome. Everything. Everybody. Maybe it's everybody. I don't know. I worked on Owl with his little tilty head. That's what I worked on. I was watching the squirrels while I did it, and the wind was blowing, and I had to balance everything, and it was hot. I remember this. I remember. Still obviously need to do the flower up there and the rest of the owl, but I think that's almost it. I didn't realize till just now how close I am to a finish on that. I should really, like, finish it. I think the fabric is a 20 count Ada, if I remember right. Does the thing say it's... Oh no, it didn't come with that. That's right, it came with white. I think it's 20 count though. I'm getting close. I think there's only 3 more. Oh, and all 3 of these I think are new starts. Oh no, not this one. This one's not a new start. Alright! This is Poltergeist Pirates, Blend in Place. Mrs. Stitches finished hers, I think, if I remember correctly. Yay! I bought this when you could get the Bang fabric, because it was special for this. So this is Bang! Bing, 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 bing. Should I call it Bamboo? Bang! If you didn't see that episode, you're like, what are you talking about? Bamboo, that weird guy at the restaurant that screamed it. Yeah. Okay. So, definitely difference down here, and I think some up in here. I got that ladder going, like with the back stitch, but it's not completely finished. But look, there's some ladder. There is so much back stitch on this monster, like it's not even funny. And I've done so little of it. I know it's going to be insane. Sorry, I was reliving what I was watching. I was watching Love in Paradise. Alyssa had suggested it. But I need to finish Married at First Sight first before I delve into another love series. I mean, I've started watching it, and those people are a bit frustrating. They don't make the best decisions, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll all be okay in the end. Right? I'm hoping I'm getting these before and after someplace in here somehow. Okay, these last 2 are new starts. This is Sumatran lace from... I was like, where's my pattern? It's a PDF from Ink Circles. So I'm going to have to slip a picture in here of what it's supposed to look like. I am using the called for. The floss is Threadworks 10651. I know it has a name. It reminds me of something about mining and dwarves or gnomes. Or I don't know. I don't remember what the actual name is, but it's not on that. But if you look on 123 Stitch, it tells you. And the fabric is 32 count Affogato by Fiber on a Whim. Affogato? I am also enjoying this. That hopefully is the right way up. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I really like the way the variegation is. It's much more subtle than like my Baroque, which is that gray background and then the peacock colors, and this is much more to my liking. So from now on, I will be sticking with more subtle variations, I think. Yeah. I remember working on it. I don't remember what I was watching or doing. I may not have had the TV on because nothing jumps out. But yeah. Got a ways to go, but I would say that's a small to medium sized pattern. Small to medium. I'd say Prickly Owl is small. And that Mill Hill is small. This is small to medium. Okay, and then the last one. I think this should be in a different bag. I think maybe I should switch this bag and the other one. This is Moving to Life. I actually worked on it a little bit a couple of days ago too, because the wheel spun it, oddly enough. Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't remember who these were by, and I don't have the covers, so there you go. And hopefully it says who it is. If not, I will eventually figure it out as it progresses. I swear I've started it. It's 28 count. It's in here someplace. Still don't know where. Here. Aha! I found it. You'll notice this is diagonal. This is the top left corner, and it's going diagonally. Now, I realize we're looking at pretty much nothing there, but I mean, it's wallpaper. Soon we'll start to see some pattern, I think. I've looked a few times, and this is what it looks like. I seem to be on the right track. I mean, I don't know what to say. I enjoy it. I like the diagonal. I love the material packs. I like the picture. I'm very happy, and it's not, it's not massive. I mean, that's double-sided, but like, it's not the biggest thing that I own. So I realize I'm not a complete psychopath. I realize it's going to take me decades to finish these if I'm still alive then, but at least I have started them and I'm getting the joy out of them now instead of keeping them all hidden somewhere, and I'm worried about zipping this up and not getting to enjoy them. So I am happy. I am happy with all my new starts. I would like to start that Mermaid's Treasure, I think is what it's called, the supersized max color still, but we have to finish the thread drops on that. And I'm sure I'll start other things. I have so much stuff, and I'm getting less, like, I care less what other people think. That sounds so mean. And more like, if I have the space and the time and the money and all that, why not? I'm okay with having a lot of projects on the go. There's nothing I love more than being like, when the wheel spins it, oh, I haven't worked on that forever, okay. Versus, oh, I just worked on that 2 weeks ago. That kind of thing. So like, I don't know what I'm working on this weekend. We're gonna spin in a minute and find out. Okay, you wanna see the haul? I do actually have haul. I mean, besides the Heaven and Earth that I showed you. Those three came together. Let's see. I am not showing you these in the order in which I bought or received them. 1, 2, 3 Stitch seemed to be having a Christmas in July sale, so many of the things on my wish list were Christmas and were on sale, so I took the opportunity, because lately it seems like 1, 2, 3 Stitch, the stuff in my wish list is not going on sale like it used to. Way back in the day, it was like every week there's a whole bunch of stuff on sale. It's not my stuff anymore. I know stuff's on sale. I check every Thursday, but it's not mine. This time it was. This is Buttons and Beads, Christmas Village, Queen Anne House. I like it. I would love to live in a house like that. I could live in a house like that. Just Nan, Frosty Gnomes, it has the big bead and the little thingies for that, and then the little noses. Which honestly, I think this was a bit expensive for what it is, but I mean, I love gnomes and Just Nan, so fine. Teresa Little Stitcher had recommended 2 of these books. This was one of them, and I never could get a good, I couldn't see it that well, so I was never like sure. So since it was on sale, I was like, okay. And this is Mill Hill, so it's got beads and stuff. I mean, it doesn't come with the beads, but like all these have beads too, which is pretty neat. There's no good inside pictures to show you to make this any easier to see. But I would be surprised if there was nothing interesting to anyone, except like, Carla, I understand you don't celebrate Christmas, so yeah, you're probably not gonna find anything you like in here. I like that one quite a bit. That ho 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 is pretty too. Cardinals. And then on the back, there's some that I really like. I think the Jingle Bells is probably my favorite over here, but I like this too. And I don't know, there's a lot to love. Yeah. So I mean, I can't really, like, it's all patterns, so I can't really show you anything in here, but you know, like, there's a lot of supplies for these things. But I'm excited to do some of that eventually. I don't know if you've noticed, but I kind of like gnomes. Luca S. I hemmed and hawed because of all the white on this one, but then, you know, on a white background, like, they aren't gonna make you stitch all that, are they? I don't know, I haven't opened it. I guess we'll find out. But I liked the little, like, specialty stuff in the hat. Little snowflakes and stuff. Should be fun. And finally, a Leolus. Doesn't that just make you so warm and cozy and happy? You just snuggle up with some hot chocolate and a blanket and just stare at this. That's how I felt. You can see on the back there, there's other pretty ones. Look at that. I mean, if that was hot chocolate, I'd be a little more excited, but yeah, I'd be happy with all that. And then, who was it? Might have been Needleberry Stitcher. I'm feeling like that's who it was. I think it was Needleberry Stitcher. Absolutely love. You should watch her Flosstube. She just did like a whole Dimensions kit parade kind of thing. Might not even have all been Dimensions. I don't remember. But she showed a couple of things. I ended up going shopping and got a couple of out of print things. Because I'm a mess. Isn't that beautiful? Flight of Freedom. I found that on Etsy and it wasn't ridiculously priced. So yay for that. I mean, it's all in there, it looks like. And then, let's see. I'm gonna end up showing my address if I do this. Also, I want to thank, I don't have it because I gave it to Alyssa, but I want to thank Crafty Cataloger, you should also watch. She took the time to quilt up a book for Olivia. She had done it for Addie, and now she's done it for Olivia. So it's like a cloth book that I'm sure that they are reading over and over and over, because Addie loves to read. So we're hoping to instill that in Olivia as well. Thank you, Katrina. That was incredibly thoughtful and you're amazing. You were absolutely amazing. So thank you. I'm sorry I don't have it to show, but I gave it to Alyssa when they came over one day. I don't know what all's in here. This is what I had never seen before. Winter lace. I've never seen that. How have I never seen that? I don't know that Needleberry Stitcher. I don't know that she had it. I think I found this when I was looking for other stuff. I mean, she might have it. I'm not going to say she doesn't. That was, yeah, that's really pretty, and I had not seen it. Oh, I remember. I got a couple of, because you start shopping and then you end up finding stuff. These were bead kits, but it's not, Millville. It's on wood. I mean, the beads are in there. I have seen them. And this is a napkin holder, which I'm not going to use it as a napkin holder because I don't have napkins. I'm not fancy. We use paper towels. But I still thought it was super pretty, and I'll find something to stick in there, right? Let me see if I can pull this out so you can see it. Does any of that help? There's beads there in there. I know there's beads. I've seen them. Let me see them in that corner. Very pretty, huh? Very unique. Wonderland Crafts. The rest of that is mostly not in English, but so we'll try those out and see what we think. I'll tell you later, someday when I start them. I have to add all this to my stash list too. I think that's it. It's just peek behind here, but I think that is all. Yeah. I have a code and I can't remember why. Oh, that was from that other thing. Okay, so I think that's it for the haul. It's unusual for me to have that much haul these days. Don't tell Alyssa. I know that at the end of this, Alyssa did talk about what happened when Olivia was born, so stick around for that. I probably should have said that way sooner than this, but anyway, that's it for stitching. So now, oh, well, I need to spin, so that's not it for stitching. Boop. Okay, so this is for this weekend, like now. Like when I get all this cleaned up, I'm gonna stitch for a while, and then later on I'll edit and get this loaded, hopefully today. I am meeting Carla being crafty for lunch tomorrow. That is always exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Although I do have to talk to the doctor today, and if anything goes wrong with that, then I won't be able to go, but I think everything will be fine. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I don't know why that would change. Bulbs. Okay, fine. I just worked on that, but fine. Fine. See, this is why I need more studs, so I'm not like, oh, I just did that. I just did that. Did that like a month ago. Like this last video, maybe? Had bulbs in it. I think I'm just grumpy because I'm not working on a fun bulb, and now I'm doing bulb hair and stuff. Okay. I'll give you an update on my mom first, because that seems to be what we always do. I don't think much has changed. She is doing well. I told you last time about that horrible thing where we thought she was maybe had metastasized, but she didn't. It was just that one test that she shouldn't even have taken. She has done the Signatera again. We're awaiting those results. So probably the next trip to the, I was trying to say gynecologist, to the oncologist, completely different doctors. We'll get answers maybe even before that. She just had the appointment with him on Wednesday. That is the first time I have missed one. I think she, because it was early in the morning, she was like, you don't need to fight traffic. And so I didn't. And then I think we probably were both sad about that. So I will not be doing that again. I will go. Thursday she had chemo. It went well, everything. I mean, I call it chemo. It's not, because it's just Keytruda. The chemo is the Xeloda, the pills she's taking, and she doesn't have to do that at the infusion center. But I still call it chemo because we're still there for a few hours, and the Keytruda is an immunotherapy. Technically not chemo. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So no real updates. She's getting a rash on her arms. Her hair is coming back really well. It's gray though. It was blonde before, but now it's starting to have some like blonde in it. It's really interesting. I probably have some pictures of her holding Olivia because they came over on July 4th. She didn't come July 4th, did she? Did she? People, I need help. It's gotta be perimenopause, right? Because I've been fine up until the last few months. It's gotta be what this is. I don't know what I have pictures of, but I know I have pictures of holding Olivia. I don't remember anything at this point. But she's been doing chemo or going to the infusion center either weekly or every 3 weeks for a year now, because she was diagnosed June 20th of 2023 and now it's July 13th. So for about a year she's been going to the infusion center, and we've never really seen anything dramatic happen ever. In fact, I've asked them, what's like the worst chemo drug, like which is the one you hate the most? And they told me Taxol, because that's the one when people are most likely to have a reaction, and the reaction is generally pretty severe. Never seen it. My mom took Taxol. She was okay. Just kind of thought, man, you know, whatever. So Thursday, there's a woman that goes out into the lobby and she gets the patient and brings them back and does blood pressure and vitals, you know, all that stuff, and then sits them down, and then the nurses come over and do what they need to do, get them all hooked up, blah, blah, blah. So the woman went out there to get this man, and she came back in, and I heard it. So we were all kind of close together. It's a smallish room, so I can hear a lot. So she was telling one of the nurses, hey, he's not looking good. Like, he's shaky, and he's not breathing right, and his arm is like red and swollen, and I think you need to go look at him. And so the nurse went out there, and then she came back in, and I heard her telling another nurse that, yeah, his daughter's usually with him. She's out of town right now. He had fallen, I think maybe in the parking lot. I couldn't really hear. And his arm is all swollen and red, and he's having problems breathing, and they need to get him to the emergency room. So throughout the next like half hour, you could hear them talking to doctors and the emergency people, and, you know, giving the heads up and getting transportation and the whole schmoly. And I never did see him. I mean, I could have walked out there and looked, but that seems pretty rude, so I didn't. So they eventually got him settled. And I thought, well, you know, I hope he's okay. It sounds like he probably is, but also, like, how exciting something happened at chemo. I know, I'm a bad human. And then we're sitting there, and I'm chatting with the woman that is the one that takes people, goes out and gets people and brings. Her name's Nancy. She's awesome. So I'm chatting with Nancy. We're actually talking about perimenopause and menopause, and all of a sudden one of the nurses pops out of the room and is like, Nancy, get the oxygen. What's going on? They'd given her Taxol for the first time, and she had a severe allergic reaction, and all the nurses were in there. They dragged out the tables and stuff, and they're in there, and they've got the oxygen and all sorts of like drugs and injections and whatever. She turned out to be fine, but I could hear them when they called the doctor, and it's the same doctor my mom has, the oncologist. They called him, had trouble getting a hold of him, but he called back, and they said, what do you want us to do? And he said, do the challenge. So apparently, what I gather, challenging the patient is when they have the reaction and you get them back from the reaction, and then you give them the drug again to see if this time their body can handle it. That's my best guess. If there's medical people out there and I'm wrong, by all means, tell me below. I'm fascinated by medical stuff. I will talk medical junk with anyone, anytime. My favorite shows are medical shows, like the actual ones, not the dramas, but like, 24 Hours in A&E and Night Watch and things where, actually seeing medical stuff take place. Anyway, so that was a bit spooky. She was okay. They did the challenge thing, and when we left, she was still in there getting everything, and it was fine. So, crazy stuff that day. But the nurses were all so calm. Everybody, and there was a tension in the air, but and all of us patient people outside were all kind of like watching and quiet. But I mean, they were like a machine, and blah, go get blah, and blah, get this, and there was the whole, like, I guess, hierarchy, and they knew who was doing what and how. I mean, they've clearly done this before. So thankfully, everybody as far as I know is okay. So that's that. I know Alyssa brought the kids over for July 4th, and I got to hold Olivia quite a bit and read with Addie, and I took Addie for a walk. It was hot though. That was a hot walk. We put Addie to bed and then got her back up for the fireworks. She didn't seem super excited about them, but she wasn't scared of them. Where we can sit in the backyard at the table, we can see out, and the city does a show at a park close enough that it's kind of right in front of us. So we do that pretty much every year, because why fight traffic and stuff to go someplace when I can just see it from the backyard? And we can see others too, because we have a pretty good view out towards the mountains, so you can see other cities and counties and things, and plus all just the people that aren't supposed to do it illegally but do it anyway. So a lot of that. That was a fun night. We had good foods. I probably put in some pictures. Yeah, okay, so my only other thing is that we went camping, and this is where you're gonna get the doctor's story. So we went camping. My husband had set it up a few months ago, and we had July 4th was Thursday, and we just opted to close the business on Friday so everybody could have the day off. So it was Thursday, Friday, and then we had Saturday off, obviously, and then Sunday was off, and that's when we were gonna go camping, and then we took off Monday, Tuesday. So we were camping Sunday to Tuesday. When he had booked it, it's in the mountains, but not as high as like our cabin. Our cabin is over 7,000 foot elevation. This, I think, is maybe 4. So it's lower. But we had camped near there the previous year, and it was absolutely freezing at night. Alyssa can attest to that. But it was hot. It was really hot this time. We had a heat dome, they called it, in Southern California. Well, it didn't really matter where you were. It was hot. I mean, I looked up Sequoia in the high mountains up north a bit, and it was like 112 at the base of the mountain. And even Sequoia was hot, like 80s, I think. That's not normal. The beaches were not that bad, but everything inland, even a tiny bit, was hot. It was stupid hot. So Sunday was the coolest day. When we got there, it was 94. When we got there around 2, it was 94 degrees at the campground. So we set things up, but we took the time, we drank water, we'd sit down, then get back at it. We got it all set up, had a great dinner. We had one neighbor who had dogs that they didn't leash, so they were constantly coming over. And he spent the entire time yelling, "Lightning, Nugget." I don't know what the other dog's name was. I never could quite catch it. But I felt bad because anytime I went to the restroom, I had to walk by the camp and the dogs would bark and it would wake them up, and I felt bad, so I tried not to go often. But, you know, also, I have to go sometimes too. So they left the next day. I don't think because of us, but you never know. And so we got up the next morning and we went hiking, but it was 81 degrees when we left. It was 85 when we got back. We didn't hike very far. It was supposed to be 3.5 miles, but we barely made it to 2. It was so hot. There was no shade. At least our campsite had shade. We picked it out in advance, and there was a creek running below it, and then there was a nice breeze, and it would come up off the creek, and it was cooler. It was nice. So we spent the day doing stuff. We had a great time. And then, so that was Monday. So Monday, it was so hot. Monday was a hotter day, and it was 97, I think, at one point. I think the highest it got was 98. It was like 97-ish, and we were just so hot. So we went down to the creek, and we walked around in it in a while. I probably have pictures of all this. And then my husband like sat in it, and he's like, "Oh, you have to try this." And I was like, "I don't know that I want to sit in the creek." I mean, it was super clear. Water was flowing quickly. It was crystal clear. And I was like, well, there were fishies down towards the other end. You know, it was really nice. So I was like, okay. Oh, that was amazing. So there's a picture of me like laying in the creek with my legs just floating. But then I, of course, had to reapply sunscreen, which I'd get tired of wearing sunscreen, but redhead, have to. I did not get sunburned at all, as far as I am aware. And then that evening, I bent over to do something, and I felt like a twinge in my bladder, like almost like a little spasm, and I thought, that's weird, but whatever. So then a couple hours passed, and I did something, and I got that twinge again, and I'm like, what is that? So a little time passed, and I went to the bathroom. And I came out of the bathroom, and I immediately felt like I had to go to the bathroom again. And I was like, oh, hell no, this is a UTI. No, I have not had one in 29 years, but the one I had 29 years ago, and I know when it was because I was pregnant. It was right before I found out I was pregnant with Alyssa. So 29-ish years ago was my last UTI. And I was like, no, I still have nightmares about that one. I don't know. So my insurance is through a company called Kaiser. And I don't think that they're back east, but they are on the West Coast. And anyone that has Kaiser understands what I'm about to say. Kaiser is the bomb diggity. I had not Kaiser previously, just regular insurance, and I had broken my thumb. It took 11 days before they even put a splint on it. I kept having to get approvals and go different places, and you couldn't just go get an x-ray. You had to be referred to an outside third-party place to get an x-ray, and then that had to go back, and then you had to go see a different doctor. Like, they had to approve the thing for the splint. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. And so then somebody told me about Kaiser, so we switched, and I will never, ever, ever, ever switch away from Kaiser ever again. With Kaiser, if you go to see a doctor and they're like, you need an x-ray or lab work, you just go downstairs and you do it. Right there. There's no making appointments. There's no getting referred out. You just go do it. If you need medicine, it's right there in the building. You just go down to the pharmacy and they give you the medicine. It's all right in the same building. It's amazing. You don't have to wait to be referred or approved for anything. You just do it. So, I mean, I can't say anything. Probably, I mean, when I had hysterectomy, they approved it, but I mean, I don't know how fast. It was quick, but like it's all just, it's seamless. Like, I love it so much. Anyway, so I went online and I was like, okay, I know that they have like a nurse hotline, but I think they have some kind of like online thing too. And so I found it. It's called e-visit. So it's for this minor kind of stuff. So it gives you like options for like which body part are you having a problem with, or which body system, and then that narrows it down, and then you can say like, you know, bladder yeast infection, like that kind of like female stuff or male stuff, you know. So obviously I picked female, and bladder infection thing was one of them. And so you answer a few questions, and then if it's between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 p.m., they get back to you within 2 hours, and they'll prescribe medicine, they'll do whatever, they'll give you advice, whatever. Unfortunately, I submitted it at 9:06. So the next morning by like 7:30, 7:40, I had a prescription. They had said, yep, sounds like a UTI. Here's a prescription. So just go pick it up from any of the locations. So my husband ordered it because I was in the restroom. So in the restroom a lot. I was in the restroom when he saw it, because I've set it up so that I can see his notifications and he can see mine. You can do that with Kaiser. You don't have to, but you can. So he saw it, and so he went ahead and ordered the medicine, so hopefully it'd be done by the time we were headed home and we could just stop on the way home. Well, it wasn't ready, and hours passed, and I was like, I just want the medicine. What's going on? So I went on the app and I looked, and it said it wasn't going to be ready till Friday. This was Tuesday. It wasn't going to be ready till Friday after like 2:50. So I called the pharmacy, and they're like, oh, well, did you do priority? And I'm like, I don't know, my husband did it. And they're like, oh, yeah, just come in and go in the line thing, and we'll get it for you right away. So I was like, okay, hung up. Before I even got like my hair brushed and out the door, they had already texted me that it was ready. So all I had to do was just walk in and pick it up. I didn't even have to stand in that other line. Got home, started taking it. Didn't really feel much better. Days passed, wasn't really feeling better. I feel like I have to pee all the time. Like, I can't tell the difference between I really have to go or I don't have to go at all. It just feels the same all the time. I just feel the need to urinate all the time. I don't need to. It doesn't sting. There's no burning like the previous bladder infection I had. So I don't know what this is. So at Chemo, I emailed my doctor because I looked back at the response from the other doctor, and he said if it gets worse or it doesn't improve, reach out to the doctor. So I emailed my doctor, and I was like, hey, I'm having this problem still. It's not getting any better. I don't know what's going on. Please help me. So I didn't hear back that day, but then yesterday, the doctor's office nurse woman called me, and she said, hey, the doctor wants to talk to you. The doctor wants you to make an appointment, I think is what she said. She's like, tomorrow's Saturday, so I can set it up so a doctor can call you. And I was like, okay. And she said, so someone will call you at 1:30. And I'm like, all right, so that's today, and I'm waiting. But I said, don't I need to come in? Like, won't I have to like do a urine test or whatever? And she's like, well, that's for the doctor to decide, but if they want you to do it, they'll just order it, and then you can just go to the lab and have it done. So you don't need to come in and have an appointment like face to face. They'll just do it over the phone. So I'm like, awesome, cool. So that's what's going on today. There's times when I feel a little better. Like right now I feel okay. But I know like as soon as I stand up, move too much, I'm gonna feel it. Cause I can feel it a little bit now, but not like sometimes. So I don't know, cause like my gynecologist had told me before that all women that have to have babies vacuumed out, which I did, end up having a prolapsed bladder. So it could be something like that too. I mean, I don't know, but the medication just doesn't seem to be working, and I don't know what it is. So I don't know if I just have a different strain than what they gave me medication for and it's just not working well, or if I have prolapsed bladder, or if it's just something completely different. I don't know. I'll keep you posted, but I really want relief because it's been since Monday night and this is Saturday morning. So I'd like to get fixed. But anyway, love Kaiser, because it's nice to be able to do all that like online and stuff and not have to go in, make an appointment, wait for the appointment, Okay, so I guess this is going to be really long because Alyssa's birth story is now, and I think we said goodbye then. So I'm going to say goodbye now. I'll also do a second goodbye that I could cut out if I need to. So thank you all for watching. Stick around to see what happened with Alyssa. Bye.
Hi again. I think I'm popping in at the end of your video. Hi. I just wanted to do a quick little birth story. I don't like the way that sounds. It sounds so vloggy and like, oh, I'm going to tell you all the nitty gritty. No, I just thought you'd be entertained to know. I was due on May 25th, and that day there was a parade in Jacob's parents' community, and they throw it's like a golf cart parade, and then they like throw candy and balls and stuff at the kids, so we thought it would be I know,
honestly, if I'm gonna throw a ball at a kid, it's gonna be a little more violent than probably what they want.
They're pretty gentle. So we thought it would be fun to bring Addie, so we decided to go do this parade thing in the morning, and then this community has like 8 parks, and they had different events going on at each park, so they had different food and different games and different rides and whatever. So we did a bunch of walking, and I joked with Jacob that I was going to actually walk the baby out, because that's what pregnant women do, is they walk a bunch to try to go into labor. And this is on my due date. So we do all the parade stuff, we go home, we put Eddie down for her nap. I take a nap because I am wiped out. That was a lot of exercise. That's more exercise than I've done the whole pregnancy. And I wake up and I'm like, I'm having some pains that don't normally pain me. This is odd. So I just start timing them just for funnies, see Jacob, look how often I'm in pain kind of thing. And then I realized it was really consistent. And they're hurting more. But they were at the cabin and they were supposed to come to our house to watch Addie so she could sleep. But I didn't want to recall from them from the cabin if nothing was actually happening. But eventually I was like, yeah, we should go to the hospital tonight, so you guys should just come down. I should be checked no matter what at this point. So they came, thankfully. We left. We went to the hospital. We got there. They kept me. Yay. I was at a 4, I think. And then, I don't know, I labored for an hour, and then I was like, yeah, epidural sounds good now. They did that. That anesthesiologist also confirmed I have scoliosis. Well, he said he can't diagnose it because that's not his specialty. But he even showed Jacob, he had Jacob walk around. He's like, see, your spine is here, but the dimple in your back where your center is supposed to be is here. And it's like an inch off. He's like, so you definitely, there is something here. He's like, I can't diagnose what it is, but there's something there. He's like, so I'm going to need you to help me with the epidural.
Oh, no. No, thank you.
I was like, oh, okay. He's like, I'm going to go where I think it needs to go, but you'll be able to feel if it's centered or not. So if it's not centered, you need to tell me. I'm like, cool. So meanwhile, I'm trying to like find the break in between the contraction, because I kept saying, having what I was calling aftershock contractions. I'd have a contraction, and then it would come down, and then it would be like a half as painful one very shortly after.
That doesn't sound fun.
And it was almost every time. It was like a little aftershock one. So it was hard to find that timing, where they could where they could stab my epidural in. So he did it, and it was like slightly off to the left, I think. And I'm just like, yep, it's good. It's centered. It's centered. It's fine. Yep. And the whole time I was going, do, because you have scarred me with you said you could hear the pop and feel the pop. And so with Addie, I didn't, but I was in like a lot of pain, and it was like, it happened really fast. So I didn't even feel the pinch. Like, I didn't feel any of it. With her, it was a lot calmer and like controlled. So I was terrified I was going to hear and feel. I didn't hear and feel anything.
Really? I did.
So I don't know if they've changed the method. I don't know if I've just gotten lucky.
Oh, it was off to the left.
Yeah, true. It wasn't quite centered. What I didn't like, and what I don't remember from Addie, is that he fed the tube in for so long. And it like made me queasy to like think about it. You can feel him. And it's just going down your...
Yeah. I don't know what they do past the pop. I was traumatized with the
They
pop.
put a catheter in it.
No,
it sucks.
no,
It hurts.
they just poke a pop and that's it. That's all that happens.
So then they did the testos, made sure I wasn't dizzy or lockjawed or any of the other horrible symptoms, and then they actually hooked me up to the epidural. And unlike with Addie, I never hit the button to get more epidural. It worked pretty dang good. I think I was at like a 6 at that point, a 5 or a 6.
Why are you beating up your baby?
I don't know. I think it's just like it's just something.
Like she's asleep. You don't have to. Like...
I guess so. I don't know. It feels right. She's telling me it's what she needs. So the nurse kept coming in, looking at the monitor all kind of suspiciously. And after Addie's experience, if you remember, she had a bunch of decelerations with her heart. And so that's why I had to have a C-section, is because she couldn't handle the labor part. Her heart rate would get too low, and it scared them. They weren't sure what was being pinched or why. So the nurse kept coming in and looking at it, and we could kind of see on the monitor, what it was doing. And so I told her, I said, hey, last time we had a baby, this is what happened. Like, just be straight with us. Like, just tell us if you see that happening so we can start mentally preparing that it might be a C-section again. And she's like, okay, yeah, that is what I'm looking at. It is looking okay right now. Like, it's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. So after the epidural, they have you lay on one side, and then like every hour they want to switch what side you're laying on.
Was she looking at that because she was seeing something or because she knew your history?
Unclear.
Okay.
I think she said she saw one that looked like it could have been bad, but she thinks the monitor just moved weird and that it probably wasn't, but she'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
So I was laying on my left side, which is the side I preferred all of pregnancy, was my left side. And then she came in to flip me, and she flipped me, and this one decelled like crazy. Like, she called in like 4 nurses, and then I can't move my legs at all because this epidural is perfect. So they needed a lot of nurses to help move me, and they kept trying to roll me back, side, other side. They called in the midwife to see if like we needed to go do something else, like whatever. Eventually she stabilized and she was fine. And they're like, okay, stay there. I'll like, yeah, I'll stay there. They're like, yeah, she really didn't like that. I'm like, I don't know. So now I'm just stuck here. Like, cause apparently, it should be pretty soon that I have her, so, like, they don't want to do anything. So, I'm fine with that, so I'm laying there. And, we're still waiting for my water to break. And, I remember, I could kind of feel the contraction, but, like, it wasn't pain, you could just, like, tell. And I'm like, hey, like, I remember talking to myself, like, hey, water, if you just want to break, like, I give you permission. Like, you can just relax and break. And then it popped. And I was like, did I talk myself into that? So I hit the call button. I'm like, hey, my water broke. And they're like, okay. And they came in and she checked and she's like, yep, nope, okay, call the midwife. She's like out. She's like here. Like I can feel her. She's like
back in.
She's like here. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. So they have to move me again because I can't move. And then she decells again. As soon as my water broke, it like tanked. I think they said her heart rate was like 60s for most of it, which babies is supposed to be like 150.
Mine
so
didn't
it's
get
like
that
real low. I know, mine doesn't either.
Try.
Yeah. So they had me on my back, and then it was worse. So then they rolled me on my side, and then they keep moving me, but in between, you know, every contraction they're having me push, and then they'd roll me and then push and then roll me and then push, trying to like find a spot where she was happy, but I could still push. And they just kept telling me like, you have to get her out. Like you really have to get her out. And I'm freaking out because I can't feel anything. Am I pushing good? Am I not pushing? Like, can you give me some feedback? Because you're not giving me feedback. You're just saying you have to get her out.
Did you ask them for feedback at some point?
No, I just focused on like
Pushing,
breathing, not throwing up, and pushing. And then, so between the time my water broke and the time she was born, it was 14 minutes. So it's pretty quick. And then afterwards, they're like, you pushed so well. You were doing so good. Like, that was so efficient.
Like,
I'm like, yeah, you should have. I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, you totally should have told me that because, like, I wasn't sure if I was doing good at all. Had a little tear. They stitched me up. But the whole time, I got to hold her on my chest for a little bit, but she was, like, excessively purple.
And
not crying. She made like a little sound and then it was nothing. So they put her in the like little bed warmer thing, and then we had a bunch of people. It was like a NICU respiratory therapist guy, and then like 3 of his nurses, and then 3 other nurses, and then there was the 3 people working on me. It was a lot of people. And so they were trying to fix her up. I mean, she was like okay, but her like oxygen wasn't great and she wasn't breathing on her own, whatever. So long story short, I only got to hold her for a little bit, and then they took her to the NICU, and she ended up staying there 2 or 3 days. And I didn't get to hold her for like a whole 24 hours after that, and I didn't get to feed her at all for like 2 days after. So it was like, that part kind of sucked. That was different from Addie, for sure. But I had her, and I didn't have to have a C-section, and the recovery was so much better. So I was walking the same day. My legs didn't stay numb for days afterwards. And I think the hospital food was great. I really enjoyed getting 3 full meals a day.
They kept postponing, like, when they're coming home. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
we love Addie and all, but, like, you
They were
can't
watching her.
you can't move into the hospital because you like the food.
See, they wanted to release us the day before, but they are like, you know, when do you think Olivia's going to be discharged? Like, have they told you? And we said, yeah, they're hoping to discharge her tomorrow. They can't do it before this 12-hour mark of when they took off her IV or whatever. So, like, it has to be it can't be earlier than tomorrow, but they're thinking it's tomorrow morning. She's like, okay, well, I can put in the paperwork that I recommend you stay another day so that way you can be discharged together. We're like, yes. So we stayed in the hospital an extra night, but that was nice because every 2 hours I got up and walked to the NICU to feed her, came back to bed every 2 hours. I did my mom duty.
We did take Addie to the hospital so she could see new baby.
But she couldn't really because she's still in the NICU. So Jacob took her, just kind of like held her over the thing, like, look, that's your baby sister. But then when we came home, they dropped Addie off at our house, and she got to hold her and meet her and stuff. So I'd say it was overall a good experience. It was just scary, this deceleration thing. It turned out the cord was around the back of her neck, which I guess isn't super abnormal, but I don't know if it's just the way my body is built or the way they end up pushing against it. When I'm having contractions and they're being born, it cuts off too much circulation from their cord.
If it was around the front, I could see why she likes sleeping like that.
I know.
It reminds her of the cord.
Yeah. I don't know. So now I'm scared to have another baby because now it's happened twice. So.
Do you feel trapped, Steve? Okay. He was into talking and then we started filming and now he's stuck over there. I was impressed at how well adjusted Addie is. Because like we took her from the house and she didn't kill it. We were a little worried that when we took her to the hospital, she wasn't going to leave. But she was like, no, let's go.
She's go with the flow. She's like, oh, I live at my grandparents' house now. Damn. Oh, you're at the hospital. You're going to stay? Okay, cool, I'm going.
And then we picked her up from their house a couple of weeks ago and we kept her overnight. And I was again a little worried taking her from you guys.
Yeah,
that
I was
gonna be a
worried
problem?
about that.
No,
She
was
didn't care.
completely fine. She didn't care.
Jacob and I were like, why do we do now? It's quiet here.
And then when we bring her back, she's not like, Mom, Dad. And she's just like, okay.
She's like, oh, hey, cool.
I'm here now.
Yeah.
She just doesn't.
And she hasn't had any major, like, personality changes since bringing baby home. Like, I really thought there'd be some jealousy. She'd suddenly want to cuddle. She'd be way too involved.
She wanted to cuddle.
Yeah. She doesn't. She's good. She still does her own thing. But she really likes to take care of her. She really likes to burp her. Likes to give her blankets and her binkies.
She reads to her the llama book.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I have that picture because I think that happened after the film last. So.
Okay. I'll send it to you now. So it's been good. It's tiring a little. It's good.
Well, hopefully we'll be back in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
We'll
Working from home next week, and then the week after that I'm coming into work, so then we'll see where we go from there. It's kind of fun to play with, isn't it?
That.
And then it goes down one more, too. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun to fidget with it, isn't it?
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Peekaboo.